Okay, so this is the timetable for the day. Aditya Sivaraman, please mention which school you are from. Deena also. Jagadisan. Madhura Prabhu also. Please mention which school you are from. Okay, shall we start? Please mention it, no? Which school you are from, and then you see the other people name. They have mentioned the school name along with 11th standard, followed by the name. So please do the same thing. Children, name your you try to mention your name similar mentioning your batch. Start with cell theory. I'm not talking, I'll explain. Okay, so don't get anxious. Okay. So we are like now moving on to cell theory, which is the next part. Okay. So we have just given the names of the people who told this thing yesterday. It was like proposed by a person who persons who are called as Schleiden and Swan. Schleiden is like a German botanist. Okay. and Schwann is a zoologist. Okay, so this guy is Theodore Schwann, is a British zoologist. Okay, so they said that all living organisms are composed of cells and products of cells. So they were like trying to understand different kinds of organisms, different kinds of cells, and then they were trying to see everything. And then like they were seeing that there were different kinds of cells, different kinds of tissues. If you're going to see a particular plant cell, you might be able to see parenchyma cells. You might be able to see collenchyma. Okay, or you might be able to see sclerenchyma. If you are seeing the animal cells, you were able to see epithelial cells. Okay, and so parenchyma is a group of cells. Parenchyma cells or tissues. Parenchyma cells will make tissues. Similarly, you have epithelial cells which will make epithelial tissues. Similarly, you have neural cells. Similarly, you have like connective tissues, connective cells. Like this, you were able to see like different kinds of organisms were made up of different kinds of cells. Okay. One thing that they were able to see was like these guys found, okay, this guy Schleiden found that plant cells were made up of a unique structure which is cell wall. And he also observed that animal cells were not made up of cell wall. So they found that it was having only plasma membrane. Okay, so they did not name it as plasma membrane, but they found that the animal cells were not having cell wall, whereas in case of plant cells, they were able to tell that it was like a cell wall was there. Okay, so they were able to tell that any particular thing was made up of two things. One is cell, and the other thing is products of cell. What do you mean by the word product of the cell? So what they were doing was they were able to sell that if you are talking about a tissue is not just a group of cell. Okay, so let us say that there is a tissue like this. So these tissues are connected by junctions. And there are proteins which will connect it. Okay, so there are like kind of things which we call it as junctions, which we call it as tight junction. Between these things, there can be a like kind of a tight junction. Yes, I am writing. Are you guys able to see the diagram which I am drawing? Yes, children are able to see it. So please refresh it in case if you're not able to see. Okay. So there are some junctions which will be connected. So what are these junctions made up of? These junctions are made up of proteins. Okay, it can be made up of some kind of filaments. Okay, I'll just show you a junction. So you see, you are able to see this kind of thing. So this is a cell, and then you are having one more cell, and in between you are having some of these structures. Okay, these are all what we call it a cell junction. We'll study it in structural organization of animals later, but please understand now that these kind of structures are produced by the cells. So this is not cells exactly. Okay, but the cell to cell, when it is getting connected, they will be using junctions. So ultimately what I'm trying to tell you is that if you're talking about an organism, let us say that this is an organism. This organism is made up of cells. Apart from cells, there are also some products which are filling in the gaps. And these products are products of the cell, which means the cell is producing and it is trying to send it out. And then it is also making the structural integrity. So which means, like, if you're talking about the structure of any organism, the organism is not just made up of cells, but there are certain things like proteins. Okay, there are certain things like fats, there are certain things like lipid molecules, lipoproteins, which will be filling the gaps. So whatever is trying to fill the gap is also product made out of the cell. So you see, like any fatty tissue, you talk about a fatty tissue. So let us talk about a connective tissue. The connective tissue will be made up of matrix. Along with matrix, you will have cells. Along with cells, you will have fibers. So all these things will be made up of with making the organism. It is not just the cell which is making the connective tissue. It is also this fiber which is causing, which is like kind of producing. Also that matrix which is there. So ultimately, you are having a connective tissue is made up of three components. What are the three components? Matrix is one thing, which is usually a fluid. Okay, and then you have the cell, and then you have these fibers. So ultimately, the point driven here is this fiber is also produced by cells. This fluid-like structure which is there is also produced by cells. So you have blood. When you are talking about blood, blood will have matrix. Matrix is plasma, and it will have cells. What are they? What are the things? What are the things that will be there? It will have RBC, WBC, and platelets. So these are the things which will be there. So plasma is also a substance which is making the body. Is plasma a cell? No, plasma is not a cell, but it is a product which is made up of cells. So that is what is this point is trying to tell. All living organisms are composed of cells and also products of cells. Okay, and then like there was this, the first point was given by these two people. The first point here was given by Schleiden and Swan. Okay, so there is someone who was telling me that both of them are German. The NCRT textbook says that this guy is German and this guy is British. Okay, so please follow the textbook. So that way it is better. Okay. And all cells arise from pre-existing cells. This point was put by Rudolf Virchow. Rudolf Virchow is a Russian scientist. This guy is a Russian guy. Okay. He made an important statement. What statement did he make? He made a statement, omnes cellula e cellula. Omnis cellula cellula. What is the meaning of it? It means cells arise from pre-existing cells. All cells come from pre-existing cells. Any cell which is coming into the picture was trying to, it is coming from this particular existing cell. Okay, so now if you are going to talk about this thing, you please understand that one cell, if it has to come, it has to come from pre-existing cell. So if the cell is coming, where is it coming from? Already some two cells are there. Okay, and then there was someone who was asking me one more thing. What is that one more thing that they are trying? Question which was asked to me was, sir, according to the point, where did the first cell come from? Okay, so we still don't know that thing. We all know it as a theory only. Okay, according to evolutionary history, the first cell is a product of, is what we call it as protobions. When the earth formed, there were some chemicals which were inorganic. And these inorganic chemicals tried to join together to form organic molecules. And these organic molecules started to aggregate into structures called as protobions and conservates. So from here, they started to probably get into a living cell. Okay, so this is the way in which the first cell could have formed. Okay, so someone was asking me, where did the first cell come from? Maybe the first cell came from this kind of organization, but still there is no evidence or not, there is no proof for us for it. Okay, so still till this point people have proved. So till this point there is proof. There are experiments conducted and tried to prove that this particular thing, till this particular point, proofs are there. Till the formation of protobions, we are able to prove. But after that, how did this transformation happen? No one is able to explain. Okay, so they are not able to explain this particular thing. Okay, so there is a conclusion till this particular thing. So there is something called as a Urey and Miller experiment, which is proving this particular part where inorganic matter can convert into organic matter. That part proof is there, whereas the other thing is not there. So please understand, this is a cell theory. These two guys, whenever they proposed only the first point. Okay, they did not talk about where the cell is coming from. But later, when Rudolf Virchow came and then like he made this particular statement, omnes cellula cellulae, cellulae cellula, in that particular statement, from that particular statement, it is modified. So basically, today when we are talking about cell theory, we are talking about 2 points. What are the 2 points that you are trying to study? All living organisms are composed of cells and are products of cells. Okay, and then all cells arise from pre-existing cells. So this is cell theory. Please take it down. Yes, it is the same Miller's experiment you studied in grade 10. the first point means the same thing. Okay, whenever I'm telling that all cells, all living organisms are composed of living cells and products of cells, it also means that it is the basic structural and functional unit of any organism. The experiment is done as a proof for chemical evolution. Okay, so now we will try to come to properties of cells. So please take down this thing. Okay, so just a second. A 1 minute, man. The smallest cell is mycoplasma. The largest cell is ostrich egg. Okay, the smallest cell in human body is RBC. The largest cell in human body is ovum. The longest cell in human body is the neuron. Okay, so this is what is the size. Based on the size, you have these things. Okay, mycoplasma will have only 0.3 micrometer. Okay. In terms of length. Human RBC has 7 micrometer length. The human ovum is approximately 0.1 millimeter. Okay. And the ostrich egg cell is approximately 6 inches. Which is approximately 15 centimeter. Okay. If you're talking about neurons, neurons can go up to meters. Basically, all your motor neurons will have, there are two parts. One is the cell body, followed by the axon. Okay, this axon can run up to meters. Whereas this part will be like 0.1 millimeter. The cell body is like human neurons are the longest basically. Okay, so nerve cells will run up to a longer thing. Children, I am just trying to tell you one more thing. There are 80 people in this class, and then there are like lots of people who are texting me. Okay, I don't appreciate in case if you are going to spam my text box with lots of messages. If whenever I'm seeing a question, I'm responding to it. What you people are doing is you are like constantly trying to post the same question again and again and again, and then like trying to distract me. I don't appreciate this kind of behavior at all in my class. I am trying to be as polite as possible, and then I'm trying to be as answerable as possible. Whenever I'm trying to look at a comment, I'm trying to respond to you. If you're going to do the same thing again, I'll just switch off the chat box and then I'll just do a one-way conversation. Okay. So this kind of behavior, I don't like it. So constantly putting the typing, you're just doing a cut, copy, paste, and then doing it like 2-3 times, or 4-5 times, or 6-7 times, whatever time that is you're repeating, you to get attention. Okay, so already I'm like kind of like we are all in a very bad state. This is not a live class. Please ensure that you please understand you are not the only person who's typing. There are 80 other people who are typing. And then I'm trying to answer all the questions as good as possible. Whatever I'm able to do, I'm trying to do it. So when such a case is there, and then like if this kind of behavior is seen, I will not like it. Okay. So the moment I am kind of like irritated, I will just say that I don't want this batch and then I'll walk out. So please behave yourself. And have some patience. Patience is a very good quality for people. There are lots of technical difficulties which people are having. And then in spite of that, like people are trying to do something as a class. So please maintain that kind of understand that. And please understand that the person who's sitting opposite to you is also a human being. I cannot multitask. Okay, so coming back here, so the longest cell in human body is neuron. So neurons can run up to like some sort of like long, it can be like kind of going up to meters. So that is the thing. Okay, so whenever I'm trying to put this symbol, this means this is micrometer. This is 10 to the power minus 6. Okay, so please understand micrometer is 10 to the power minus 6 meter. So this is the scale with which you need to understand. You can see the dimensions of this particular thing. Okay, so someone was asking me, is in sperm cell larger, smaller than the RBC? So please understand that the sperm cell will be having a tail part which is long, which is making it as a longer size. In terms of the dimension, it might be small, but in terms of the length, it will be longer because of the tail part is like a very long structure. Someone was asking me if Ernst Haeckel part of the cell theory. Cell theory, only 3 people are part of: Schleiden, Schwann, and Rudolf Virchow. This is what is given in CBSE textbook. So strictly abide by the CBSE textbook in case if you are preparing for NEET, because that can be like helping us to get marks. Okay. So this is the size of this thing, various size. So cells come in various sizes. So now we are going to study about shapes. Cells come in different shapes. So you have studied about bacterial shapes, bacillus. They can be rod shaped. They can be spherical. Okay. And they can be spiral. And they can be vibrio. They can be biconcave. The RBCs will be biconcave. So they are disc and biconcave. Okay. And some cells can be amoeboid. Kidney shaped. You think about the guard cells. The guard cells in plant is kidney shaped. Then you have cell shapes which are sustentacular. Which we call it as cylindrical. Vibrio and comma are shape. Yeah, cylindrical, columnar. Cylindrical we can also call it as columnar. Both are correct only. Okay, so some epithelial cells of this way. Then you have a cell body which is there, which is like kind of branching out like a neuron. This is star shaped neuron. This is vibrio. Just draw like a comma. This is how you will draw the vibrio. Spindle shape is spiral. Spiral and spindle are same. Okay. Okay. Spindle shape is one more spindle is there, which is your muscle cell. Your muscle cell spindle will be like this. Okay. So this is how spindle will be. This is spindle shape. You also have ring shape. Okay. You can have multiple shapes, man. So this is what it is. So you can still are there. Okay. So where are these cells found? So rod shaped bacteria are there, which we call it as bacillus. Then you have spherical shaped cells, coccus bacteria, spiral bacteria, ring shaped structure. You will see it in the fat cells. The fat cells are ring shaped. Amoeboid cells, your body has blood cells. Blood cells are amoeboid. Some of the blood WBCs are amoeboid. Spindle shape is seen in smooth muscle. Disc shape biconcave is seen in RBC. Vibrio is seen in bacteria. Here already I have given it is seen in guard cells. I have told you that this is seen in neuron, and this one is seen in epithelial cells. All these things are example. Okay, so these are all example for cells and their shapes. This is the second point. Okay, so now we'll move on to the third point. Cells have cell organelles. Okay, the fourth thing, based on the nucleus, cells are divided into prokaryote or eukaryote. Someone wants the sixth slide, I'll show for a while. The longest cell in nature is human nerve cell. Example for spiral cell, spiral bacteria. Spiral bacteria itself is there, spirillum. Tambi totipotency and all, I cannot teach it now. So it is all like concepts coming in biotechnology. We'll study there. Because like making you understand totipotency will take me some time, which will be taking time from this class. Okay. So based on the type of cell organelles, number of nucleus, it is divided into prokaryote or eukaryote. All living cells contain nucleus that has DNA or chromosome. Cytoplasm, the fluid where the chemical reactions happen. And the third thing is ribosomes, non-membrane bound organelles. Responsible for producing proteins. Okay, children, listen. So you have cells will always have cell organelles. Okay. All living cells will contain nucleus, cytoplasm, and ribosomes. Which means if you are going to talk about a cell should contain nucleus. It should have cytoplasm where the fluid reactions will happen. Nucleus is the region which will have DNA or chromosomes. Okay. And then you will also have a ribosome. Ribosomes are non-membrane bound structures. Please understand this is a very key word. It is not covered by membranes. Okay. It is a non-membrane bound organelle that is found in cell. It is responsible for producing proteins. So these are all characters of the cell. And also one more thing is plasma membrane. The covering of the cell. This is seen in all types of cells, prokaryote and eukaryote. All these four things are found both in prokaryotes and eukaryotes. Okay, so these are all the properties of cell. Okay, so now we will move on to prokaryotic cells. The word pro means primitive. According to this particular structure, please understand that nucleus is a region that contains DNA or chromosome. Okay, prokaryotes also is having a nucleoid zone where this DNA or chromosome is located. So that nucleoid zone is equivalent to nucleus only. Okay, what is it not having? It is not having a well developed nucleus. What is the meaning of the word prokaryote? Prokaryote means primitive, karyon means nucleus. You cannot say that nucleus is absent in prokaryote. They just have a primitive nucleus. Okay, so please understand that whenever I am talking of prokaryote, what I am trying to tell is the nucleus is just underdeveloped or primitive in nature. I am not trying to tell about it is not like it is not having. Okay, only the nuclear membrane is absent. So whenever we are talking about prokaryotic cells, they are cells with underdeveloped nucleus. The nucleus is not well defined. It lacks nuclear membrane. The genetic material is naked. The genome is single chromosome or a circular DNA. Okay, and extra chromosomal DNA They lack membrane bound organelles. Okay. So let me just explain these points here first before we move on. Okay, so please understand that the cells are underdeveloped, will have underdeveloped nucleus. You have studied what it is. Okay, it is lacking nuclear membrane. So that is why we call it as what? Not well defined. Okay, it is like kind of hazy. The genetic material is naked. Why we call it as naked? Because it does not have a covering. Whenever we are talking about genome is the genetic content. As in my body, in a human body, the genome consists of 46 chromosomes or 23 pairs of chromosomes. I have all the total number of genes present in my body is considered as a genome in my body. Okay, if you are going to talk about a Pisum sativum pea plant will have 7 pairs of chromosomes. So all the 7 pairs, 14, will be considered as the genome. If you are going to talk about genome, what is genome? Genome is the total genetic material present in an organism. So this is what we call it as genome. Okay. So the extra chromosomal DNA called as plasmid is present. We know what is plasmid already. I think I have taught to you about it in Monira. Yes or no? Have we studied about plasmid? We all know about plasmid. So I am not explaining what is plasmid here again. And then one more thing is that all these things will lack membrane bound organelles. So the membrane bound organelles are absent. I am using the word lack. Okay. So with this thing, we'll stop today's class. Yeah, plasmids are extra chromosomal DNA that give antibiotic resistance like properties. Okay, so now we will move on. I'll show you all the slides and then we'll stop today's class. First slide. Second slide. Third slide. Fourth slide. Fifth slide. எக்ஸ்ட்ரா குரோமோசோமல்னா வந்துட்டு மெயின் குரோமோசோமை தவிர்த்து இருக்கக்கூடிய எக்ஸ்ட்ரா. சிக்ஸ்த், செவன்த், தேங்க்யூ கனிஷ், எயித், ninth. Thank you, children. Thanks, Balamurugan. Tomorrow, if there might be a doubt clarification section. Okay. Thank you, children. Bye. Yes, like last week.